And the president, as we've been showing you this hour, moments ago in Florida, toured repairs at the Hoover Dike and Lake Okeechobee. And he spoke briefly with reporters and had some very strong words about the crisis at our southern border. Watch this.
Mexico's tough. They can stop them, but they chose not to. Now they're going to stop them. And if they don't stop them, we're closing the border. They'll close it, and we'll keep it closed for a long time. I'm not playing games.
Let's slide in our power panel now with the president still on the ground, potentially speaking with reporters. We'll show you things as they happen. Trump 2020 Advisory Board member Jason Meister, Democratic strategist Jason Nichols, a couple of Jasons today, and some breaking news on the ground in Florida. Jason Meister, when it comes to talking about the border at this point and saying, you know what, Mexico, if you don't stop those people coming north, we're going to close the border for quite some time. What do you say?
Look, Harris, this is an issue that both Democrats and Republicans haven't attacked and dealt with for decades. This president is a doer. He gets things done. And he's made this promise to the American people through the campaign, through the 2016 campaign. This is an issue. It's a national emergency issue that President Trump is going to deal with. And he's going to shut down the border if they don't step up. So that's what we're doing.
You know, and those are pictures from moments ago, and we've been showing you what we can live, and then also via video of the president at Lake Okeechobee in Florida, and he will be taking a helicopter tour there to look at that earthen dam as it is suffering under the weight of time and weather. So he'll take a look at that, and as that happens, we'll continue to show these pictures. Jason Nichols, is there a fair amount of pressure on Democrats now to come to the table on the issue of not just the crisis at the border or the emergency at the border, but also immigration as a whole?
Well, I think Democrats have always been willing to come to the table and talk to this president about immigration. We're just not going to be strong-armed by this president. And, of course, he's not playing games. He wasn't playing games when he separated babies from their families and from their parents. He wasn't playing games when he brought the military in unnecessarily. So there's no question that this is not a game. But we're willing, I think Democrats are willing to come to the table and talk about sensible issues.
I don't think that's true.
At our border.
The Democrats have had opportunity after opportunity to step up to the table with a meaningful way to fix this, and they haven't. No, they've been about open borders. They've been about they've been about MS-13. They've not been about Americans and protecting the border.
$1 billion to build more fencing.
Jason, let me step in with some immutable facts. The migrant family apprehensions fiscal year to date are up 338% border-wide, nearly 1,690% in the El Paso area, 690% increase in the San Diego area. When you look at those numbers, Jason Nichols, on the Democratic side of this conversation, when are you going to step up and come to the table as a Democrat if you say that you've been waiting until this point? This is what's transpired in all of the conversation. It's time to act.
Again, Democrats have been willing to act many times on border security, and as a matter of fact, we know that those numbers were very low at a 45-year low in 2017, but this president has actually created a further crisis at our border. So
how is that even possible? When you look at these numbers, the president isn't getting these families to come to the border, and in fact, early in the administration, we had seen some numbers fall because people were saying, oh, the president's rhetoric is so tough on this. Jason Meister?
Harris. Also, let's look at the places at the border where there is a wall, there is a physical barrier. Look at how much illegal immigration is not going across the border in those locations, down like 90%. Yes, it is true, Jason.
As a matter of fact, we know at the San Diego border there is a wall, but yet she just gave you a number of 600,000 people who are somehow getting around it. And again, these are crises that should not be attacked at our border. Fundamentally, these are issues at the Northern Triangle of Central America, and that's something that Vice President Pence said, which was correct. The problem is really about the Northern Triangle of Central America. We need to make things better there.
I want to jump in and clean it up because I want to make sure my numbers were reported correctly. What I said was that there is a migrant family apprehension spike by 696% in San Diego area. And what Border Patrol officials are telling me is they don't have enough people right now. They've got thousands of job openings right now. And what they're also telling me is when a system is broken, it only creates more problems. It's about to get really warm, and we see a spike in the summer months. Jason Meister, last word.
Look, again, this is a president that gets things done. He's made this a very important issue. It was a campaign issue, and promises made, promises kept. The president is going to secure the border. We are not a country if we do not have secure borders. It's really that simple. Legal immigration over illegal immigration.
Jason and Jason, thank you very much.
2 caravans now are pouring up. Mexico could stop them, so easy. And you know what? If they don't, it's going to cost them a hell of a lot of money. If they don't, and I'm telling you right now, we will close the damn border.
So President Trump there defending his national emergency declaration, doubling down on the need for a border barrier. His remarks come as Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen is asking Congress for authority to send illegal migrants' children back to their home countries. Tom Homan is the former acting ICE director and a Fox News contributor. Thank you very much for talking to us. I mean, every single day, it's the same thing, and nothing is getting done. Now the Democrats are in control. They say they don't want open borders, but yet what are they doing about it? You know, the president tried to declare a national emergency. That clearly didn't work. So what will?
Oh, look, you said it. The Congress has failed the American people. The Democratic leadership, show me one thing they've done to slow this crisis down at the border. They claim they're not open borders, but what have they done to address the surge at the border? The only one who's doing anything is this administration. The president has done executive action, declared national emergencies. He's getting sued every time he does executive action to try to stem the flow and the tide. But he get, you know, the Ninth Circuit has got him tied up every time he turns around. So what needs to be done is Congress needs to close the loopholes. Congress needs to do their job. Instead of Democratic leadership asking to abolish the federal law enforcement agency for enacting laws that they think don't work, why don't they do their job and fix the laws so they do work and close the loopholes that entice these people to come?
You know, I mean, the border crisis escalates by the day, not just by the year, by the day. Immigration officials are holding hundreds of parents and children in these makeshift facilities. It's outrageous. It's dangerous. And it's a humanitarian crisis. I mean, including in a parking lot. What are they supposed to do with them? And then the Democrats come out and say, you know, that children are being wrongfully held. Well, blame the parents. I spoke with Congressman Jeff Van Drew earlier in the show, and even as a Democrat, he believes the border needs some kind of barrier or wall to stop this crisis, which was interesting that he takes a stand that most Democrats don't, including many other issues. Let's take a listen to that.
We are not an open border country, period. I do not believe in that. I do not believe it's good for our security. I do not believe it's good for the economic health of the country, and I don't think that's something that we should do. At the same time, I also believe that we should take care of the dreamers. These are folks that were here since they were little children, and they should go through a process where they learn about America, swear the oath, take the test, and become Americans.
That was kind of a deal that, you know, the GOP had hoped maybe they could strike in order to get more money for the wall, right? So they wanted the wall. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, they want nothing to do with anything that has to do with a barrier. Okay, so here you have a Democrat saying we need a barrier. So if there is no barrier, there's no money to build the wall, then what are they going to do? What's next?
Look, I respect his comments. I actually met him in the green room after that interview because I was doing another interview on the other network. And I thanked him because this congressman put politics aside for a moment and talk to Fox News about what he thinks needs to be done to fix the border. And I agree with most of everything he said. So, and that's what needs to happen. I don't care if we're Republican or Democrat. There is no downside on securing our border. There is no downside on less illegal immigration that bankrolls criminal organizations that smuggle drugs. There is no downside on saving lives because people die making this journey, and as we've seen, children have died. There's no downside on less drugs being smuggled across this country. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Your number one responsibility is protect this nation, protect our sovereignty, and secure our border. So I agree with the congressman. What needs to be done, if Congress isn't going to fix this legislatively, if the president gets sued by the Ninth Circuit every time he turns around, then we need to do what we can operationally to control the border.
Then what do you do? I mean, do you shut the border? Because I mean, you try to get Mexico to get involved, and Mexico's not doing anything. You send these asylum seekers to Mexico, they end up fleeing anyway. They end up getting in it no matter what. So it doesn't seem, without a barrier, that if you don't close the border, it's just not going to stop.
No, what we can do, and it's controversial, but I don't care because I've done it and it worked.
What?
ICE needs to get out there right now and look for these family groups and these single adults that enter this country legally. They had their due process. They demand to claim asylum. They demand to see a judge. Okay, we've done that at great taxpayer expense. They've been ordered removed by a federal judge. ICE needs to find these family units and single adults, find them, detain them, and remove them. Because if those orders from a judge don't mean anything, then there's no integrity in the entire system. I did this about 3.5 years ago, and once we removed a large portion of family units, showing there is deterrence, there is some sort of consequence to violating our laws, the numbers on the border went down.
Okay.
Right now, nobody's leaving.
There's got to be
it's a win-win.
There has to be. And there are none right now.
And Central America is not seeing families being returned right now. We need to get out there, do a nationwide operation. I'm telling you, I've done it, and it worked.
All right, Tom Homan, great to have you on. Thank you so much.